There once lived a young, adorable girl called Muna from the Busoga clan. She was adored for her kindness and beauty. She was the only child of Chief Musafa, a beloved treasure of the entire clan. Though curious by nature, Muna always obeyed her clan's one strict rule: never to go outside at night, as they always warned her. According to them, the spirits roamed the forest when the sun set, and disturbing them would bring certain doom. During the village's annual festival, Muna met a stranger named Ndawula. He was tall, with a quiet intensity that captivated her. Ndawula seemed familiar with the village and spoke as if he had lived there his entire life. They spent the evening together, laughing and sharing stories. As the sun went down, Ndawula grew distant and told Muna she had to go. "Will I see you again?" she asked. Ndawula smiled and told her he would meet her at the same spot tomorrow. Just before nightfall, she rushed back home, smiling and eagerly awaiting the next day. The next day, she left home and went to the place where Ndawula had asked her to wait. To her surprise, he was already there. She was very happy and ran to sit beside him. Before nightfall, he left again. Every evening they met at the same point, and just before nightfall, he would leave. Muna felt drawn to Ndawula in ways she could not explain, yet each time, as darkness approached, he would leave. Unable to contain her curiosity any longer, she finally asked him why he always left before night and what he was hiding. Ndawula's expression darkened as he said to her, "I am not of this world, Muna. I was once a chief, but my life was cut short. Now I wander this forest, bound to it in spirit. I can only walk among the living before nightfall, after which I must return to the realm of the dead." Muna's heart pounded as a chill passed through her. Despite the revelation, she could not turn away. "I do not care because I love you, Ndawula. Whether you are a spirit or human, it does not matter," she said. Ndawula's face softened, and he told her to come with him that night to a place he wished to show her. Hand in hand, they ventured deep into the forest and arrived at a clearing bathed in moonlight. At its center lay a pool of very bright water, surrounded by ancient trees. Ndawula knelt by the water and gestured for Muna to join him. "Ndawula, is this safe?" she asked, as she felt the ancient power of the place. "It is the boundary between worlds, and the only place where we can truly be together," Ndawula replied, his eyes holding a mixture of sorrow and hope. "But to join me, Muna, you must bind your spirit to mine. You will have to leave your clan, family, your life, and everything you know." Her heart ached as she considered the sacrifice. Yet her love for Ndawula overwhelmed her doubts. She took his hands and replied, "I would rather be with you in your world than live in mine without you." Ndawula's face glowed with both joy and gratitude. He asked her to marry him that night under the watchful moon. With a gentle touch, Ndawula wove a crown of flowers and placed it on her head, whispering ancient words. The forest listened. Shadows gathered around them as witnesses to their bond. A figure emerged, a tall elderly man with wisdom etched on his face. Muna recognized him as one of the village elders who had passed away long ago. The elder's voice echoed, "Ndawula, you know the law. No human shall join our realm unless they prove their heart's innocence." Ndawula looked to Muna and said, "If your love is true, walk alone to the pool at midnight. Show no fear, and you will be mine forever. But if your heart falters, you will be lost to the shadows." Though fear gripped her, Muna nodded. "I will do it." At midnight, Muna stood alone at the forest's edge as the moon cast its glow. She stepped into the shadows, each footstep echoing her heartbeat. Whispers drifted from the trees, voices urging her to turn back. Shadows moved at the edges of her vision, watching and testing her. A voice, unfamiliar, called to Muna and warned her not to trust Ndawula, urging her to return to the safety of her world. Fear gripped her, but she pushed it down, focusing on her love for Ndawula. "I belong to him," she whispered to herself. At the sacred spot, Ndawula waited, his face unreadable. When she emerged, she smiled at him. Ndawula took her hand and said words that filled her with warmth, but as their bond was sealed, Muna felt his grip tighten and saw a cold look on his face. "Ndawula, what is happening?" she asked, trying to pull away. Ndawula's expression hardened. "I told you I was bound, Muna. This is my only escape." Realization struck her. Ndawula was trading his life for hers. "You are using me?" Muna asked. Ndawula nodded. "I have waited for someone like you, someone willing to trade her life for mine." Terror filled Muna's heart as shadows encircled them, chanting her name in mournful echoes. In that moment, she remembered the strength of her ancestors, their tales of bravery and resilience. Summoning her courage, she cried out, "My ancestors, I call upon your protection. Please hear your daughter." At that moment, a bright light burst from her, forcing Ndawula's grip to loosen. "Muna, what have you done?" Ndawula cried as shadows turned on him, dragging him back into the pool, his face twisted in fury. "Muna!" he screamed, his voice filled with a last desperate wail as the water swallowed him. When the light faded, Muna stood alone. The pool's surface was calm, as if nothing had happened. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of what she had survived. In the stillness, she knew her heart had remained pure and her spirit unbound. As dawn broke, she made her way back to the village, forever changed, yet deeply grateful to be among the living. She promised her parents she would never leave the village at night again.